I read some comments on Sky News by, I must say, not a journalist, I hope. It was a member of the public actually voicing his strong opinions, rather, about other races than English people, probably somebody from National Front, but I'm sure, unfortunately, a lot of people will be sharing that view because following the riots, some people would turn out to be even more racist than before. I hate to put it like that, but it's a reality, racism in Great Britain, as in everywhere else. This semi-intelligent being was going on about how other races than British were actually, in fact, more brutal just by the nature of them. Just because genetically, I suppose, they are programmed to be more aggressive. And it's the saddest story about those riots. It's really the selfishness and the brutality from those idiots who started it. And then the destruction, physical, of those houses and those lives, but also the emotional impact onto those people. But it goes on, unfortunately, into people rejecting black race as officially responsible for starting the whole mess. And I'm really scared of the future, really, like that, because not only the kids losing every moral standard there ever was left over, but you also have people who think that it's another further pretense to attack anybody with dark skin. In 16 years in London, I've observed quite a bit of rubbish in private relationships, in friendships, in associations, as well as in business and work. Those segregations are still in force, I'm afraid. It's sort of like the 1920s. In 2011, just before the Olympics, when people will be coming in and black people running around a track, that would be perfectly fine. But for some people, it will still be basically their natural instinct to run and to attack. Otherwise, they're good enough to wash or to do prostitution. It's as plain as that. I've experienced that rejection. I have experienced it very much, and I hate to think of the impact those riots will have on the black. I am profoundly saddened by quite a few things which happened recently. It has led me to think a lot, and I pray to God that this gets resolved at some point, and that this upheaval will be a lesson for people to be a bit more aware of their spirituality, a bit more aware of their inner selves, a bit more aware of their aspirations, intellectual capacities, consideration for people around them, and there will be a lot more, how can I put it, communication. And in fact, I've struggled quite a bit in London, and I've lived through poverty and hunger in this very town. I never actually let myself be tempted to go and steal, because it's just a principle of mine. It's just as simple. You have some morals and you stick by them. And sometimes having a religion or another can help. I hate to tell the atheist. And it really is so deeply ingrained, all this lack of morals and this lack of moral structure. It's insane insane. As I said before, I feel very saddened because as on a human level, it's a free fall. It's a sign of decline, along with people not reacting to any sort of body language signals or music, and it needs to be examined. And that's quite painful to do. It's actually looking into oneself and looking into the structure of families, looking into structures of psychological parameters and social aspects. It's not just about rejection, because as I said, I lived rejection. I've never turned into a violent personality, not just physically, not just politically, but also psychologically and emotionally, intellectually. Some of them don't even like holding a pen, they prefer a gun. It's disgusting. They don't have a pen, they don't run around, with a pen in their hand to express themselves, do something, do some drawing, do some, listen to good music, stimulate your mind, express yourself in other ways than just smashing things and getting a pair of Adidas. This it's worrying. Another thing I read was that the ethnic ghettos, quote unquote, they're responsible for this explosion of violence. My response to that is that the ethnic ghettos really are not so much physical and racial. The ghettos, I'm afraid, are a lot more social and intellectual, as well as emotional and spiritual. People struggling to do things in a proper, powerful manner other than violence. But they're not many, unfortunately. It's not just the blacks. It's very sad that people just assume that black people and immigrants from Eastern Europe are the problems behind this. Because history defies all that. I would definitely say, as mentioned before, role models, the communication within those music styles are hardly somehow stimulate the mind and contain enough structures to actually carry emotions, and emotions are what these people, the young people especially, have. They want to convey them and some audience of, parents, or subconsciously they saw this a beautiful samba beat, and it's a bit more intelligent, it's a bit more complex. That's what is needed, because the brain of anybody, even those rioters, is complex. It's a complex mind. You need to have something that contains their need, that can carry their need forward for expression. And I'm afraid rap is not that. It will contain simple beats and loads of scanting, which a lot of people will identify to, but it won't be enough in the long term, especially if it's going to glamorize violence. It's sad. It's rap world are frustrating for even people who seem to like it. Subconsciously, they're not fulfilled by it. They need some complex structures like Anterrion or the opera musical structure. You have to go further than just those 2-bit structures. Has to be added is some violence, and that's what's getting there. And people go, it doesn't matter, but it does. This is a role model for the kids, and role models obviously in the media, and as low as this, so that people can actually see the picture. It's not just political. And mankind has to restructure itself. I'm afraid those people are betraying their worth. Those kids don't even know how much they're worth, most of them. They don't listen to body language signals. They don't listen to admonition. They don't talk to their parents. The parents don't talk to them. It's just a decline of mankind altogether. If you wanted to comment, I would be very much in favor of that. I wish I had some people to discuss this with, because I find it frustrating to meet quite a few negative idiots who basically have their prejudices repolished with those riots, and I'd like to see that there can be something done. I've got a few visions for the society we live in, and I would like to, if I could, put something into action with drama and music therapy, which I have in projects with my company. But it takes some work to be able to face all these horrors and to take those ignorance by the hand and show them the truth. My name is Sandrine Anterrion. Obviously I'm French, you can tell by my accent quite a lot, French West Indian. And thanks for listening.